Yeah. Good morning, students. You have optional subjects at semester 5. Core subject is a public relations, and elective subject is elective course is a corporate publications, otherwise Telugu journalism. Okay, if the students chosen the corporate publication as their elective subject, may useful for these lessons. For them, these lessons are useful. Okay. Coming to the corporate publications, there is a 12 units. In this paper, you have 12 units, 5 blacks and 12 units. Each black has a 2 or 3 units. Black one, once we will go with the content. Black one, introduction to corporate publications. In this block, there is a 3 units. Number 1, concept of corporate publications. Number 2, types of publications. Number 3, writing for corporate publications. Black number 2, there is a 2 units. Unit number 4, illustration in publications. How we can use illustrations in the publications, images, all this cover under this unit. And unit 5, diagrammatic representation. And next is the block 3. In this block, production and printing process. We know about the production and printing processes. Unit number 6 goes to layout and design. Unit number 3, unit number 7, production techniques. And unit number 8, printing process. Because as a corporate publication manager, otherwise public relations manager, we have to know which kind of printing technology using the printer, what kind of papers they are using, what kind of printing they are using for publications. Fourth block is a pre-press process. In this process, unit number 9 is a typography and composing. And unit number 10 is dedicated to the proofreading. Actually, nowadays, there is a particularly there is a separate proofreading, but even though we have to know about the proofreading symbols, how to make proofreading, all this. Number 5, black number 5 is a house journals. House journals is a one of the type of corporate publication for the organization or corporations. Unit number 11, production of house journals. And unit number 12 is launching of a house journal. How to launch house journal, where we have to register for house journal. All this will come under this unit. Next, block number 1, introduction to corporate publications. This block is divided into 3 units. This block is divided into 3 units. Unit 1, already I told you the concept of corporate publications. Unit 2 is types of publications. And unit 3 is writing for publications, corporate publications. What is organization? What is corporation? First, we have to know about this. Corporation, otherwise organization, is not a different, it's just a business or a business company is called corporation. Sometimes this is also called as a organization that is formed for a particular purpose. For example, industry is a productive industry, otherwise some services industries. For example, productive means it's a physical form. We see the mobile phone is a physical form, that's a product. And coming to the services, for example, life insurance, otherwise any health insurance, there is a no physical product, that is a service. So that is also one of the organization. Organization or a corporation is a group of people joined together to accomplish a goal. Every corporation and organization is a goal. Organizations may be in a government sectors, or otherwise a public unit sectors, otherwise a private sectors. Next, we have to know about the corporate public. Who are the public? Here is a not, we could not define as a public as a general. Here, corporate public. Corporate public means the product or services which are using by the public, otherwise who are working for that company. There is again two categories public. Here is a two categories. Number one is a internal publics and number two is a external public. For example, internal publics, come to the internal publics, there is a employees who are working with that organization or company is a called internal publics. And external publics. External publics means customers, dealers, stakeholders, shareholders. These all are comes under the external public. Don't be confused here. Public means not a general public. In particular, our subject is here. The public is internal public and external public. Internal public means employees of the organization, otherwise corporation. External publics is customers, shareholders, stakeholders, wholesalers, dealers. All these are comes under the external publics for organization, a company or a corporation. Every company has a goal to reach their target. There has a mission and vision. Mission and vision based on which goals are determined. There is a goal for a company. So for that, they have to, how to reach the goals, they have some vision. Vision and mission. Every company has these two elements. Now coming to the products and services. Products and services. Products means, already I told you, physical form. Physical form of the any physical form of is called product, and service is called, it's a non-physical form, but it has a service. For example, telephones, computers, books, pens, tables, everything is a physical product. These are all called products. And services, for example, for services is insurance. We every day we know we will see the advertisements in the newspapers, electronic media about the life insurance corporation. There is a life insurance corporation and otherwise health insurance corporations. They will give advertisements for their services. So services examples is life insurance, health insurance, mobile insurance, and back-end services, all these are called services. If we see the mobile network is there is a back-end stuff, support stuff. They will give us services. Okay, it is clear to the product, the difference between the product and service to everyone. Next is a corporate phase. The areas of corporate phase include corporate vision, corporate mission, corporate strategy, corporate identity, corporate image and reputation, corporate products and services. Some products they have and some services also has. Corporate conscience, corporate social responsibility, corporate governance, corporate brand, corporate philanthropy, corporate sponsorship. All this comes under the corporate phase. Each element we will discuss in this entire course subject. We will discuss all these elements in a detail in coming units. Okay. Coming to the corporate governance. Governance is a maintenance, is the administration of the staff to give a good products or services to their public. Their public means here internal publics and external publics. Okay. Good governance is a lead to the brand to give some image or a brand position to the those companies or corporations. They are good governance. They are people's participation in decision making. For example, we see if a product, new product, for example, a company as a new going to launching a new product, they will take people participation based on their surveys. They will conduct the surveys to know the what people are expecting from the company, because they will get some idea to give their public. Their public means here their customers, some otherwise employees and dealers. All these are coming under the publics. So they will give some, they will take some feedback from the people's public. And transparency, the another one is a transparency. So we see, for example, a municipal corporation office, it's a government office, even though, but there is a citizen charter. So what work will complete in how many days? There is a citizen charter. That means they are going to the transparency and how amount is per charge for that service. Everything is displayed in their office. Number 3 is a responsiveness. There is, we see every company, organization and corporation as a feedback mechanism. There is a help desk, contact us. They give contact as a dialogue in their website. So they will take the feedback from the feedbacks, otherwise queries, doubts, whatever it is. They will take from the public and they sort out how to solve their public's questions, their problems, queries. Number 4 is accountability. So how much they are spending. Accountability means here is the product quality. Somewhere we discuss about the quality. So whether the quality is the product is a quality or not, and the price is a suitable or not. So all this comes under the corporate governance. This is as a mechanism by the staff who are working for the organization or a corporation. So every citizen has a right to know the information. Another element is here right to information. For example, government companies all are comes under the Right to Information Act. Government organizations, for example, corporations, BPCL, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, and municipal corporations and many other corporations are there. These are comes under the government sectors and public units, government sector public units. These are called central public sector units. BHEL, Mini Ratna companies, BSNL, all this comes under the, all these are the corporations and public sector units. So they are running under the supervision of the central government. So there is a wing about the public information. So every public has a right to know the information from the corporation, that corporation or organization. Another one is a corporate social responsibility. The word corporate social responsibility, this term first introduced by in the Tata companies by the Jamshedji Tata, the pioneer of the CSR in India. Short form is the corporate social responsibility is CSR. Okay, in Indian comes under the Indian context. The pioneer is the Jamshedji Tata. In multiple choice questions, you may get this kind of question. Who are the pioneer of the CSR in India? So you have to write Jamshedji from Tata company. Okay. Multiple choice questions are fill in the blanks. Otherwise, match the following. You will get this kind of some short questions, 1 mark questions. The main principle of CSR can be as summed up here in some words: minimizing the harm. So every company sometimes they goes into the crisis when if they comes under they were some do corporate social responsibilities, their activities under the corporate social responsibilities, they can minimize harm. So the company will get some credits if they do corporate social responsibility. And the corporate social responsibility, another benefit is maximize their benefits. And another thing is being an accountable and responsive to key stakeholders. These three are the main principles for the corporate social responsibility. So recently government has some act is there. So every organization, corporation must utilize 2% of profit under the, they have to utilize their 2% of the profit under the corporate social responsibility. So we will see many of the organizations like Indian Oil Corporation, BHEL, HPCL, and some profitable corporations, they were spend some amount. NTPC, we see they were spent 2% of at least 2% minimum not the amount of 2% they were spent on the corporate social responsibilities. So we will see some school education under the corporate social responsibilities. They were buy fans, otherwise they were construct some amenities for the school, and some they were conduct the programs, awareness programs. They were provide benches, school bags, shoes, school uniforms to the students, all this under the corporate social responsibility. The need of public relations communication in corporates. So corporate communication is a separate wing, which is nowadays after globalization, all are using corporate communication. Actually, is a corporate communication is a one of the part of public relations. Public relations is a big umbrella. It's a old form. Some century ago, there is everyone use public relations. But after 1991, globalization, 1991, liberalization, globalization, and privatization, now they are using all organizations or companies, private or public sector units or government sector, governments. Some instead of public relations, they are using corporate communication, but both are interdependent, and public relations is a broad area. Corporate communication comes under the public relations. Okay. Why the need of public relations and corporate communications in a corporates for a organization, for a company, private company, to aid the management of change, help to define a corporation's role in society, and assist the creation of corporate vision and responsibility. These three are the main needs to form a corporate communication, otherwise public relations in the corporations. We are seeing still many of government public sector units as a public relations wing. Somehow separate corporate communications, even though these two are interlinked, these two are working with the interlinkage only. We will see some here definitions. Two definitions are here given. I will read out definitions of corporate public relations, otherwise corporate communications. The term corporate public relations embraces all relationships that affects the corporation as a whole in reaching both the internal and external publics. It's a clear definition. Their goals, every company has some goals. To reach the targets, they have to work with their internal and external public. So what the relationship for this, they have to maintain some relationship. Already you know the internal and external public, who are the internal public and who are the external public. Another definition is corporate communication functions. Functions, if we know the function, we will define it as a, it's easy to us to define what is the corporate public relations or corporate communication. Once we will here look in the functions. The corporate public relations or corporate communications functions include media relations, employee communication, corporate image management, and corporate advertising, corporate public relations, brand promotions, and government relations. See, if we have only public relations, otherwise we have advertisement relations, we have employees communication, but we could not survive without these. If we have everyone, every organization, the person who are working with corporate communication, we have to maintain government relations also. You have to be maintain government relations. What kind of relations required? For example, a company has to establish a new branch, otherwise a new plant. They need some permissions from the government, some municipal corporations otherwise industries department of the state government, or otherwise the central government. For that, the staff, even the chairman of the managing chairman, otherwise managing director, CEO of the company, and the person who are working with the corporate communication. There is a senior managers who work with the corporate communications. They were all included, and these 3 or 4 persons will contact the government officials, otherwise ministers, because they need some permissions. Permissions, what kind of permissions? No objection certificate from the, for example, to plant a, to establish a new plant, and from the various departments, municipalities and environmental department. For this, these are the calls under the, comes under the government relations. So corporate communication manager or corporate communication, otherwise a corporate public relations manager, public relations officer, who have to maintain some tactics, some strategies. When the crisis comes, that time they have to maintain some, to overcome the crisis, they have to maintain some strategies, some tactics to overcome the crisis. We'll discuss this targeting the key trade press to keep the company in focus as far as its brand equity is concerned. And working on tactics that bring people face to face. Another one is selecting appropriate media and drafting appropriate messages to reach out to various constituencies. Here is, we are discussing about the media, about the media, how to media relations, how to maintain the media relations. Here is a press means, the another word is a media, electronic, print media, all this comes under the press. Creating a strong, positive, and indefinable corporate image. Next one is building the reputation of key executives. Managing crisis communication. Private or public sector units, government, even sometimes government corporations, all these sometimes they will get some crisis. So when the management, corporate communication personals who work with the, who will give some ideas to the management to how to overcome this crisis. Not only do crisis management and all these activities, so they have to do assist the top management in change management within and outside the organization. The corporate communication personnel, manager or a senior manager or officer, they will give some suggestions, ideas to the management. They have to give some suggestions and ideas also, because they have, instead of managers from the other sectors, means some MBA holders, otherwise senior persons who are working with the company from a long, even though they could not handle the crisis in sometimes. So then the corporate communication management personals, corporate public relations personals who are known how to handle the media, for example, otherwise government officers and public. So corporate communication is a key in the organization, or otherwise a corporation. Functions and role, already we have discussed, these all are comes under the corporate publications, corporate communications functions only. You have to write in detail, like as a for example, if the question comes in the examination, you have to write what is corporation, what is organization, and the role, who are the publics, who are the externals, and come to the functions. So every corporation, otherwise the goals, every corporation has a goals to reach their targets. For that, there is a functions. For corporate communication functions is already we are discussed in earlier topic. Key functions are to maintain corporate vision, corporate mission, corporate strategy, corporate identity. All these are also some of the functions. Here is some difference. There is a clash between the what is corporate public relations and what is corporate communication. In India, there is a nothing. Already we have discussed. There is not a breach between the corporate public relations and corporate communications. Both are interrelative, and both divisions personals have to work with interrelations. Public relations is some oldest word, some century ago, some 150 years ago word, but that is now a little bit revised, like we have to call it as a revise. So it is now we are calling as a corporate communication. Public relations in the semester 5 already previous fifth semester only you have a core subject, public relations. There is what is public relations. We will hear once again will repeat. Public relations is a two-way communication process between the organization and its publics. Publics means here internal publics and external publics. Okay, so we have to know in the same way corporate communication also is a two-way communication process between the organization and publics. So here is not much difference for corporate public relations and corporate communication. We'll go to the unit number 2 also. Unit number 2 is corporate publications. What we are, our title of the unit, this subject is a corporate publications. Earlier unit, we learned about what is organization, what is corporation, all this. For this, we have to circulate some information. We need some publication. Either it is in a digital form or a print form or a mobile form, e-version, whatever it is. But every version, every communication required, it's a form in a publication. We are seeing in many organizations nowadays, they are not giving in a print versions, they are giving e-publications. But it is also either is a print or a e-version, the e-paper. It is called as a corporate publication. Every organization must maintain, organization or corporations must maintain a corporate publication. Okay. Corporate publications has a number of types. It may be a calendar, it may be a brochure, it may be an annual report, may be a pamphlet, it may be a catalog. So all these comes under the corporate publications. Generally, publications who will maintain the publications, who will run the publications? The corporate for a corporation, the public relations officer, otherwise the corporate communication managers, they are the editors. They work as editors for their publications. Now we know the definition of the corporate publications. Any promotional communication material pertaining to a company is called corporate publication. Promotional communication for their employees, otherwise their internal public, otherwise external public. Some information have to go to the employee about their new products. So when the publication, which publication can be used to give internal publics, means employees, there is a newsletters, employee newsletter. In the newsletter, priorly the management give their new product, about the information about the new product to their employees. So once, if the employees only knows the other, means external public, they were circulate in the form of oral or a non-verbal, verbal, whatever it is. So first they have the employees awareness. They need to aware about the new product to their employees. Corporate publications include company brochures, reports, annual reports, and customer newsletters, employee newsletters. Maybe it is in online or offline. Some organizations has own TV channels also. Means like nowadays, the development of social media, YouTube channels are came. So private channels, they are not required any registration and any permission from the governments, all this. So they are now, they are maintaining YouTube channels also. For all this, either publication form, otherwise electronic form, otherwise a audio visual form, the ultimate goal is to deliver their communication to the internal public or external public. Corporate publications target is both internal and external public. First, we have to know about the word corporate, how it is came. The corporate means whole body. It means corpus. Another word is a corpus. The word corporate, however, refers to the whole body or corpus and applies to any kind of organization, regardless of whether it is in a private or a public or a non-profit or a public sector unit, otherwise a NGO, whatever it is. Every organization, the word is, every organization is a corporate communication. We'll see some definitions for the corporate communication. The process of establishing trust, social capital, and legitimacy is the one of the definition for the corporate communication. Another corporate communication definition is to focus on the responsibilities and the narrowing the gap between the organization goals and targets. And another definition is establish a consistent organization profile. Every organization, corporation has a profile. In the profile, what we will know, mission, vision, and their target people, their products, all this comes under the profile. If the their achievements, they're winning awards, prizes, all this comes under the profile. So corporate communication personals who have to give some profile. Their work is to give some inputs, writings of their organization. Another definition of the corporate communication is organization of communication by developing and implementing guidelines for coordinating all internal and external communications, and sometimes may control the communications also. Once again, we will hear some rewind about the public relations. So here, public relations complements marketing communication in achieving the aims of organization among the external publics, and it translates an identity into an image. Okay, some 3, 4, 5, some 10. There is a 10 definitions as given in the 10 definitions given in the textbooks. Once you read it, all these are the simple to understand. Corporate communication can be divided into 4 broad components. Number 1 is a communication. Number 2 is marketing communication. Number 3 is a organizational communication. And number 4 is a reputation management. Communication by number 1 is, we'll discuss here about the number 1, communication by a corporation to influence stakeholders and publics for establishing better relations. Publics means here internal and external again. Okay. Number 2 is a marketing communication, which is directed at achieving sales and support other management disciplines such as finance, human resource development, production, etc. Number 3 is organizational communication, which engaging those publics where there is interdependence by implication with the major groups such as investors, employees, and suppliers, wholesale dealers, retail dealers, all this we know it. Number 4 is reputation management based on organizational performance. If the organization perform good, automatically the reputation will come. Sometimes crisis, we have to overcome the crisis. So crisis management is also one of the part. Now coming to the types of publications. Manuals, number 1 is, you will get a question for example, short answer questions may be asked like a single publication in the short answers. Manuals and handbooks, you have to write short answer for that. In case of the question comes only one publication, manuals and handbook, otherwise annual report, house journal. Like if the long answer, the question may be write any 4 publications, like the long answer maybe comes. We'll go the brief because running the short time. We'll go the briefly. We'll go to the publications. Number 1 is a manuals and handbook. Manuals and handbooks of an organization generally contain administrative procedures, office or a factory rules and regulations, service conditions, provident fund, pension rules, and like with the which the employees will have to be familiar. All this comes under the manuals and handbook. Okay. Another publication is annual reports. Every organization has an annual report. Some may maintain the financial year, like April to March. They were give not a, sometimes some organizations gives January to December annual report. Some organizations, if they were established in the month of June, maybe they will give from their annual report from the June to next year May. It is depends on their preferable calendar only. Okay. An annual report is a regular publication of an organization. Such aspects as profits and loss, assets, liabilities, all this comes under the annual reports. Their figures comes in the annual report. And a resume of activities in diverse fields covering a specific period of the organization are set forth in an annual report. Every company, organization, or corporation has some goals, their targets, their profit target. So sometimes they were loss, but everything comes in the annual report. And this chairman's speech, we see in the some, if any new product are introducing by the corporation, when the company chairman give their speech, they give his speech, or the person's the chairman's speech. So in the chairman's speech, he will give some bonuses, some profits, some friendly, employee friendly information, some leaves. Sometimes we see the achievements of the company. All this comes under the chairman's speech. So many organizations, the chairman will give some inputs to the public relations officer, otherwise a corporate communication manager. They will only prepare the speech of the chairman based on his inputs. Some we see house journals. There is a chairman's speech. Very first page is the chairman's speech. Another publication is a house journal. House journal, in a broad sense, reflects the concern of the management in the welfare of employees, their safety, service condition, security, and etc. All this comes under the house journal. So house journal is only for the internal public, means employees only. Some house journals who are targets the external public also, means sometimes all dealers, stakeholders. So they will give information about the dealers and stakeholders. Also some organizations, internal house journal and external house journal. So both, there is a three kind of internal and external, and both there is a three kind of house journals. Another one publication is employee newsletters. There is a employee newsletters. What items will cover in this, like leaves, any rules and regulations related to the employees, and any changes. And sometimes they ask the employees to contribute their writings, paintings, their opinions. So this is also, these all comes in These all comes in employee newsletters. Folder, another one is a folder. A folder is a simple type of publication. Generally, it is a oblong in size. The width and length may different from the folder to folder. Some folders may be 3-fold, some folders are 2-fold only. Some folders are just 4 folds, 5 folds we see. Why the folder is? Because it is a simple to carry. It is a printed on either side of the sheet and then folded in such a way that is will be easy to read and convenient to carry one place to another place. Brochures is some more colorful than folders. Brochures are information pieces mainly used to introduce a company or organization or a corporation and inform about products, services to target audience. Brochures we see in the, for example, outside in a dealer shop, we will see brochures. There is a information about their products. Sometimes we call catalogs also. Catalogs means their all products are includes in the catalogs, but brochures is a particularly one product, one service, targets in one product or service, a colorful publication. So it is attracts the dealers and as well as the customers. Calendars and diaries also we seen from the corporations. For example, HPCL calendar and HPCLs as a diaries to their employees, their dealers, their stakeholders. Another publication is government publications. Government publications is here. Two kinds of governments in India. India is a union. You have the union of the states, state government and government of India. Coming to the government of India, there is a division, publications division, which falls under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And coming to the state government, there is a department of Information and Public Relations. These department people means staff who works to produce publications. Another publication is product catalogs. We see catalogs if some, for example, sarees, there is a catalog. So which are printed with that saree. Every product, every piece as a catalog. So we see on the, it's a colorful designer. Posters also we seen in the dealer shops. Sometimes we see in the exhibitions. Sometimes we see in the open banners. All this comes on open places also. All these are the posters of their organization. What the products, services, and what their other social responsibility, so corporate social responsibility activities, and who are working with them, who are the eminents who are working with them. All this information gives in a form of poster. And another publication is a direct mailer. Direct mailer means they takes emails of the employees, wholesale dealers, retail dealers, stakeholders. They will send the information to direct to their public only. Public means here internal public and external public. As many as 2 units are covered in this session. We have 6 sessions. I'm requesting the students may participate. If interaction will gives more effectiveness instead of single presentation, only teacher presentation.